Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Edna Harvey, the Breakout. So I had to look at the walkthrough again, and it turns out it's another pixel hunt thing. So right here, there's a drawer, and right here is a desk, and on top of not having a more modern just press a key to highlight all of the things you can click on, putting drawer and desk, both starting with the letter D, right next to each other is pretty bad when you're just kind of slowly or quickly moving the mouse over. Basically, I just didn't see this here, and I was on the verge, had I not looked at the walkthrough, of leaving this room trying to find something that Harvey would cause a tempo morph with at any part of the building, and it would have just been a nightmare. It could have easily been another hour and a half of walking around because I was about to leave the one place I needed to be. So if we just use the drawer.
Closed. That makes me angry.
So that's closed, and we can look at the drawer. Not the desk. See, it's pretty easy to click it even. Look at the drawer. Let's play this normally.
A Norwegian hardwood drawer with leaf gilded inlays.
Where do you see anything like that? This is ordinary beach.
Shh. The player was deeply impressed just now.
So it's not even giving you the hints. And this is the problem, is it's not even giving you the hints that the drawer is locked and you need to use the knife to unlock it.
Yeah, I can reach between the desk and the drawer with this. With any luck... There! Success!
So, why did that work is a good question when so many other attempts to use the knife in so many other places hasn't really ended in actual success. Why is this one instance treated differently? It really is just an example of, I think, very early Daedalic point-and-click adventure programming and writing, because that shouldn't have worked. The knife should probably, at this point, for as many different places I've tried to use it and not succeeded in using it, it should have been something that you could discount for the rest of the game and just assume it's never going to be useful at all. At the very least, they could have been generous enough to tell me it's locked. I need to find a way to unlock it every time I tried to open it. Using only 4 verbs is a problem, certainly here too, when most ScumVM verb-based games had 9 verbs to use. This is too few. I need to look at the drawer.
There's an old key in the drawer.
Instead of use the drawer, which
I bet it's important.
I would assume.
Dr. Marcel kept it hidden in a locked drawer after all.
Yeah, and what's the point of saying it's a locked drawer now when you didn't say that before that point? And now we're just stuck with a long load screen. So we have a key in the inventory. I guess we could look at it. It's probably not the master
must
key.
Be important if the doctor keeps it in his office.
There's really only been one place that's been locked other than the locks on the gates, which would, it would be nice, I suppose, if at this point, once we had gotten past the gates, we could unlock this stuff.
It doesn't fit here.
So, this door is the only door that's locked. And yes, I looked at the walkthrough to this point to know that this is here. After this point, we're back to regular play, and I'm gonna just...
That really worked!
Hopefully we'll get a tempo morph, and it will start speeding some things up. So it's a shrine room with flame everywhere in a psych ward. Of the son, who would have been about my age. So there's probably something in here that we can tempomorph on. Something from my school. So let's see. Let's just look at everything.
Alfred was very clumsy with this kite.
That little putz was a clumsy oaf, period.
Now notice the eyes are moving.
Alfred got this great bike from his father. Mine was from the junkyard.
I kind of wonder if maybe there's a bait and switch here that happened, where Alfred was actually the child of the person who she thought was her father, and she was actually the child of Dr. Marcel. Maybe Dr. Marcel wanted a boy and pulled some strings, or who knows what this is really going to be.
If ever I need an imprint of Dr. Marcel's knee, I know where I can get it now.
Let's see. Pick up the pillow.
Nah, it smells like Dr. Marcel's aftershave.
There's baby teeth. Let's see. What if I right click on them?
That's sick.
So we have a car.
Alfred always used to have the cooler toys, and he never let me play with them.
Maybe that's because you always wanted to play Smash 'em Up.
You think so?
So it would almost be believable if the reveal here is that Edna did kill Alfred and the father took the blame.
Hey, half of those are mine.
It would then certainly turn
Alfred's
a twist.
yo-yo. Alfred was pretty clumsy with it. He couldn't even perform a single trick.
Like, then the twist would be, I guess, that Dr. Marcel might be trying to erase her memory to her benefit.
Look, that's Poozy.
And not for some sinister
Harvey couldn't
reason.
stand him.
Poozy must kill Harvey. Poozy must kill Harvey.
Oh yeah, still his usual self, old Poozy.
It is, at least to my understanding, often the case that people who are delusional in mental care do take on this narrative that the doctors that are trying to help them are actually trying to harm them, probably a little bit more often than it is true.
That's Alfred's homework. Alfred was a real nerd, and he never let me copy off him. What's this? Scribbled on the edge of the page. Mattis Conrad? That's my father's name, but it isn't his handwriting. Although somebody has made a great effort to copy it, obviously. Just a second. That's my handwriting. I don't get it. Why did I sign my father's name on the edge of Alfred's homework? Harvey, do you know anything about it?
Oh yeah, I can remember that day very well. That was the day I taught you how to forge signatures.
So that's the thing we need to technomorph on. Let's look at the
This
other
is
things.
Alfred taking ballet lessons. Not
First.
only did he look ridiculous in his outfit, but he also moved with as much grace as a sack of potatoes. He was a few sandwiches shy of a picnic. Alfred built a snowman. Is that a tie on the snowman? Oh, Alfred, you're such a geek. Even as a toddler, Alfred was ugly.
What else is there to
vaguely
look here?
remember Alfred.
There's a
He
ton
was an
of
extremely
things.
obnoxious boob, I'll admit that. But to think that he's dead now?
Edna? Edna?
I wonder if he's
The
not
kid was a
really dead.
klutz.
I know.
He was a jerk.
I
It's
know.
odd to see emotion here.
I couldn't stand him.
An idiot. A moron.
A pimpled ulcer.
A bag of pus.
Dumb as a bag of nails.
Cry baby.
butthead.
Goof.
Brain dead mother friggin' vomit munching horse fornicator. I miss him.
I know.
Dr. Marcel will pay for this.
You think he's got something to do with this?
Look around you. It's obvious that this guy is insane. I know the recollection of what happened back then must be buried somewhere in my brain. This is exactly why Dr. Marcel is trying to erase my memory. And to think he's got the nerve to accuse my father.
We'll find the missing piece of the puzzle, Edna.
A lot of dialogue going on here. So, yeah, the characterization here of her actually caring about Alfred is kind of shocking because we haven't had any of that before. And there could have been a scene or two before this point. I wonder in the sequel of this game if it's still possibly trying to avenge Alfred in part and prove that Dr. Marcel is the guilty party, or it really is going to determine on what the final reveal of this game is. So if I use Harvey on this notebook,
Can you remember this, Harvey?
we should
Yes, indeed
tempo
I
morph.
do. You and Alfred had a private lesson with Mr. Hornbush. The lesson was utterly boring. And while Alfred did his best to follow, I taught you how to forge signatures.
Do you think we can go back there so I can learn it again?
That should be no problem. Are you ready?
So I reinstalled Java. I don't think it really would matter, frankly, but I updated it, so hopefully this doesn't crash like it did the last time.
Yeah. Tempo morph me to the past.
Otherwise,
As you
I should have
wish.
saved,
Hold
frankly.
on.
It was weird when it crashed before, because it crashed and then rebooted the game.
Oh dear. I really do remember, I'm afraid. This is Mr. Hornbush's math class. He was very strict and he always picked on me. Doesn't he look like one of the aliens in Star Trek? I'm afraid that if I don't pay attention, he'll lock me in the cupboard again.
Seriously?
This is a riddle you have to solve on your own. Good luck, Harvey.
So, we can't this time do anything with her. And so we have Alfred. We're just dragging, which is definitely different from pointing and clicking. And yeah, so I think this tempo morph is weird, certainly. Just a lot of inventory. Chalkboard. The teacher locking you in the closet is certainly not acceptable. But I wonder if that is this world in general. Is that it's a world of cruel, cartoonish adults. This is feeling somewhat like the story of a series of unfortunate events, which I imagine those books would have been out by the time this game came out, but definitely not the Netflix TV series, which is pretty good. That wouldn't have been out. Alright, so there's a note there. We can walk out the window and see, there's a playground and there's a pond, there's a Ferris wheel, there's the sun, and there's a circus, and there's an ice cream stand, and there's a merry-go-round, which I don't have room for. So merry-go-round. And is there anything else? So I missed one item. So do I just drag these onto her?
Edna! There's a new ice cream parlor.
Do they have blancmange ice?
From the looks of it, they've got everything.
I'd die for an ice cream.
Mr. Hardbush! Mr. Hardbush! Edna's talking to herself again, and I can't properly concentrate on my assignment.
Edna Conrad, you keep interrupting the lesson. I'll give you an official warning. On the third warning, I'm putting you in the cupboard. Do you understand?
I'm sorry, Mr. Hornbush. It'll never happen again.
So, we have all of these things, and we can grab them all, but I only have 2 more warnings, so I have to basically, if I want to get this done and just save time and not waste it, I have to stick to the note, the letter, and Alfred. I'm guessing of what we're supposed to be doing. Let's talk to the letter.
Hey, Edna, I spotted a letter in Mr. Hornbush's coat pocket. I'm sure it's part of a conspiracy. Shh.
Note.
What does that piece of paper say?
Oh, it's a note from my father. He just forgot to put marmalade on my sandwich again.
So doesn't seem like there's anything else. Seems like we can do more than 3.
Look at that idiot.
Mr. Hardbush! Edna is snickering again!
Pull yourself together, Edna.
So, am I doing off-topic things and getting warnings, or are there just some...
Math is god-awful. Let's skedaddle.
Later, Harvey.
Or is it 3 errors before you get a warning? I don't know how this changes anything now. Let's see, globe.
We should venture out into the world.
Shh. Later, Harvey.
And map. I'm just
Let's
gonna
go
try
on a
everything
treasure
and
hunt.
we'll just see what happens.
Later, Harvey.
Skull.
Do you remember the skull?
Shh. Later, Harvey.
Mr. Hornbush reminds me of the fish Mattis gave you for Easter.
Shh. Later, Harvey.
You flushed it down the toilet.
Mr. Hardbush! Edna is snickering again!
Pull yourself together, Edna.
He's a horrible tattletale.
Edna! They have a new slide at the playground.
What? I've got to go there. I can't risk anyone breaking my record in slalom sliding.
Mr. Hardbush! Mr. Hardbush! Edna's talking to herself again, and I can't properly concentrate on my assignment.
I have to ask you to behave, young lady. That is the 2nd warning, Edna. Interrupt the lesson 1 more time, and I'll put you in the cupboard.
I'm sorry, Mr. Hornbush. It'll never happen again.
So apparently I am just gonna get thrown in the cupboard.
We gotta get you out of here.
Shh. Later, Harvey.
It's gonna really suck if I have to go back and pick a bunch of these and try them a 2nd time. So what do we want to do? Sun, circus, merry-go-round. I think the circus would be the biggest thing. So let's do this.
Edna! There's a circus in town!
What's that you say? A real circus?
Mr. Hardbush! Mr. Hardbush! Edna's talking to herself again.
At this point, I would not blame Edna if she just threw him out the window.
That's it. Enough is enough. Into the cupboard. Come on, move it.
But...
No back talk now.
I will say the other Daedalic game that that came out where there was a forever mistreated story tale character grow. I think the writing is a little bit better on that. Although, in all fairness, that game also went way too long, and it had definitely better puzzles because it was a much more recent game, but still had that standard Daedalic unsatisfactory ending that really killed some things. Alright. I'm trying to drag these to her.
Edna! It's the warmest day of the year today!
Great. Thank you very much. And I'm stuck in a cupboard.
Edna! There's a Ferris wheel outside!
Great. Thank you very much. And I'm stuck in a cupboard.
So, I may have to go back and find some other
Edna,
things.
Swimming season's begun!
Great. Thank you very much. And I'm stuck in a cupboard.
But I still can't switch to her.
Can you reach the letter?
Sure. I can't make out anything. It's much too dark in here.
So we drag the hole over here and then tell it is
You
all.
could pass the letter through the hole. Then I can read it for you.
Good idea.
This is incredible. The letter is from Dr. Marcel, addressed to Mr. Hornbush. The doctor is paying him money to hold you back in school. And he stresses that under no circumstances are you to be allowed to leave class early. Especially, and this one's underlined, when the weather is good.
I can hardly believe it.
This
Obviously, Dr. Marcel
seems
has been carrying
completely
out a personal
untrue.
vendetta against me for a long time. He'll pay for this.
This
all
seems
a
so
bit illogical to me.
so
But I've
ridiculous.
seen it written in black and white.
We'll
So
get to the bottom of this
Harvey is
eventually.
clearly more than just an imaginary friend. He is a manifestation of what you could only call paranoid delusions. Let's see. So how can we get her to leave, get out of here?
What's this piece of paper in your bag?
It's not really important. My father forgot to put out breakfast for me.
Father, that was a different sentence than what was said before. Alright. Chalkboard, maybe. Alfred. Hornbush. Door. Is there anything else out here that I missed? Walk to out. Ferris wheel, pool, playground. I hope this isn't just another pixel thing that I'm missing. Ice cream stand, merry-go-round. Yeah, it doesn't seem like there's anything there. So if none of these work, then it's map and globe again. And then skull. Let's just move the mouse all over the place. It's kind of questionable why we can't switch to her and start and play as her while she's in this area. Edna is not something that we can talk to her about. Interesting, so let's just go through all of this again, starting this way.
We could paint the skull with bright colors.
Wouldn't I have to get out of this cupboard first?
Let's see.
We should venture out into the world.
For starters, I just want to get out of this cupboard.
Let's go on a treasure hunt.
Wouldn't I have to get out of this cupboard first?
We gotta get you out of here.
Yeah, this seems to be the story of my life.
Is there something else in this coat?
Maybe you should ask Mr. Hornbush to let you take part in the lesson again.
I can't believe that you, of all people, would say that, Harvey.
Why? We can wreak more havoc that way.
That, of course, is true. Mr. Hornbush!
Okay. Now. The question is, how do we... We're still trying to get
Isn't
forgery.
that your father's handwriting on the note?
Yes, why? It's just a little memo about my sandwich.
Well, how about we create our own little note for Mr. Hornbush? In your father's name.
You mean we'll forge his handwriting?
We'll just borrow it. After all, you have plenty of time in here to practice it. Or did you have other plans?
You're right. This really sounds like a good idea. Maybe I'll even manage to get out soon enough to enjoy the weather.
Well, I'm glad it skipped at that point, because I don't see how that scene would have gotten any more interesting.
That's how you learned to forge signatures back then. You got so good at it that after a while you could forge anyone's signature, just by looking at it.
Yeah, I think I could still do that. I really hope this is going to help me. This classroom is not exactly what I call one of my favorite memories.
Well, see, it's certainly weird now because we've gone from starting to feel like she kind of liked Alfred to, as the player, after that sequence, I totally hate Alfred. Like, don't care that he's dead at all. That was really a nightmare scenario of him just tattling on everything. Could potentially be walking around trying to turn lights on and off, but I don't think we really need to do that. So now that we can forge again,
That's definitely Dr. Marcel's distinct signature.
we should be able to use the pen with the
My
form,
signature won't be worth much here.
or perhaps use the form with the
Look
diploma.
at that. The diploma bears Dr. Marcel's signature. But how do I copy it from there onto this form?
Oh wait, there's a Harvey 2 now. Use Harvey 2 counterfeit signature with
There's no
this.
signature on there yet. I should find a way to change that.
So use Harvey 2, which pretty much guarantees that I think there's only a Harvey 3, maybe at the very end of the game a Harvey 4
Okay.
Tempomorph.
I think I could learn to forge this signature.
Sometime later.
That should do it. I can make an exact copy of the signature now.
So, where does that put us on achievements? Like, let's see. I guess we'll just save here in this slot. And look, she's written Dr. Marcel all over the walls everywhere, which definitely looks like something a crazy person would do. So achievements wise, let's see. Where does Oscar live? I guess this is Oscar the Grouch, and so a trash can. Exchangerness is probably trading the hot pads. Defeat Adrian. We probably will need to do that for a story. It kind of feels like there's a storyline one and then a non-storyline one, then maybe a storyline one again. Polisher. Let's see. The only other thing we had was the Lift Girl achievement. From the appearance on the walkthrough, though, it does look like we are probably halfway through the game, if not further, because the walkthrough itself only has you do things the second you need to actually do them, whereas I've picked up a lot of items. I wouldn't be surprised if the inventory never gets cleared out in this game. But it has been another 30 minutes, so that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend to follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below in the description box. And if you want to support me even further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and gift me a game off my wishlist. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.